Hi everybody, so I am back with more Halloween projects. I did the coffin and I also worked on some jars, so you'll be seeing those in a second. I'll just start off with the coffin. I got my little candlestick that I already showed you. I thought I would put it next to my coffin, and then I made this cute little sign. It says, "Save a vampire, give blood." So that's going to go in front of my coffin um, wherever I display it, probably like to the side. But this one's going to be standing up. I think it was last year or the year before. No, I think it was the year before that, 2 years ago, that I made another coffin, more like a regular coffin with a dead body in it, not a vampire coffin. So here we have, and don't mind my boo-boo, I had cut myself yesterday, kind of sliced it, but it kind of closed up on its own. So anyway, here it is. And I wanted it to be a stand-up coffin, and I love how it came out. It's just very dark and grungy, and I've just been surfing Pinterest every day and usually at work when I'm on my lunch break or on my 15, I just take a peek and see what other ideas I can find there. So I looked up vampire coffins, not just coffins, but vampire coffins. So I got a lot of ideas, and I came up with this. And I didn't want to make it all frilly and everything. I really wanted it to be dark. So what I did was I first painted it with the same paint, black paint that I've been using, because it is out, and it's that chalkboard paint. And I only gave it one coat, and it came out perfectly. So this wooden box, wooden coffin, I got it at AC Moore for less than 99 cents because it was on sale when I got it. But they do have it at Michael's. I had seen it there, and I'm sure you can find it at Joann's and Hobby Lobby. But I haven't looked because I already had gotten this from AC Moore. So one coat of the paint, and again, it's that chalkboard paint, so it has that matte look. And then I went over it with, let's see if I can get it, Inca Gold, and this one is orange, and it gives it a really nice look to it. So then I went in, I had a strip of chipboard sitting on my desk from, I don't know what project I was doing, probably from the book that's in the cake platter. I left it on my desk. I figured maybe I'll use it, and I did, and I ended up making a cross out of it. So before I put the cross down, I painted it, and this time I painted it with a different paint, which I have to throw away. I used this metallic, what is it? It says sequin black, but it worked. The only problem is it's very thick and gummy or pasty, and it has a weird smell to it. Even though I've never used it before, I had it sealed. I don't even know where I got it from. If I knew where I got it from, I probably would try to return it, but I have no clue. So I'm throwing it out. It took a while for that to dry. I didn't like that smell either. And then I did the same thing with the metallic rub with a little more, and it's a nice shiny cross on there. So then I added this piece here that someone gave me, and it came with a couple of dangles already, and this kind of reminded me of a stake that you would impale a vampire with. And it had this little fleur-de-lis, and then I added this little bling, just for a little bit of bling on this, because there's a female vampire inside. And someone gave me this piece. I just added the bling, trying to straighten that out. Okay. And it was actually an earring. And I also dabbed on some of the paint on it and put some more of that orange metallic rub to give it that look, so that it would all blend together. On this side, I pulled off the actual latch that this had, because you can, it had a little metal latch. But I pulled it off because I wanted to put on this piece here, which I thought was really cool. And I also painted it and gave it that that brush of the metallic rub. And this little center was actually the part that the latch would, get caught on. It actually fit there perfectly, and it's kind of like a keyhole. I decided to put the chain after I had finished everything, so it's to keep her from getting out, hopefully. So this is just some black chain from Hobby Lobby, and then I added a little key and lock charm on there. Of course, you really shouldn't leave the keys on locks when you're trying to keep something in, but anyway, so this is meant to be kind of displayed partially open. It doesn't open completely, but you'll see in there the sleeping vampire. And on this side, I put in a cameo. It's like her before she turned. And there is some Chinese braid trim inside. And I didn't really want to over decorate. I really wanted to see the wood and the effect that I got on the wood. I love how that came out. And then here on this side, I lined the inside. I actually put some, not stuffing, but what do you call that? That thin kind of fluffy stuff. Oh my god, what is it called? Batting. I just put a little bit underneath, and then I put this fake velvet fabric, which I glued to the edge and kind of just let it sink in. And then I put that bling trim around. And then I found her online, and there was more to this picture. But I really had to work hard in my Photoshop to resize it and make it work, because I thought I was going to use the whole thing, and I ended up just cutting her out, so I didn't even have to resize her. So again, this is, I think I seen it in Pinterest, and I just printed it. And again, I didn't have to resize her because all I did was ending up cutting her out, because I wanted to give her wings, bat wings, and look like she's like, embracing herself with her wings. And these are just plastic bat wings from Michaels. I had cut out the body of an actual bat, and I mean not a real bat, but a plastic one. Just cut the wings off and then just put them in there. So I don't have any red paint. So I just took a Sharpie and colored in her lips and kind of made it look like her lips are dripping with a little blood. And there's 2 dots on her neck because she wasn't born a vampire. She was turned. I just love the way that came out. So again, it's meant to be like partially open and display with this, which says, "Save a vampire, give blood." And I put a little pearl in the back, a pearl bead, so it stands and you don't see that. Actually, I want to do it this way, and then that's what I created my candlestick for. I know it's kind of big compared to this, but it's all going to get displayed together. So that was the coffin, and now on to, I guess I could put it here, my jars. So I only did 3. They're not really apothecary jars. It's more like what's in a witch's stash. And I did 3 different shapes and sizes. I didn't want to do any more. I just wanted to keep it at 3. I don't have that much space to make a whole bunch, which I would have loved to do. So we're going to start with this one. Now both this jar and this jar are from Target. So I don't know if this one was $1 or not, but this one was. And it is what it says here, bones. And the tag also is from Target. I recently got. So I just cut off, it's chalkboard tags, and the black ones have like a scallop. I cut that off because I didn't want that. Distressed it. I did paint the back. I didn't have my ink out at the time, so I just used my paint that I was already using for here. And with my chalk, I wrote bones because that's what's in here. It's just all kinds of bone parts. I had 2 skeletons left from the Dollar Tree from last year, so I broke them up and threw them in there, threw in a couple of other skulls. There's one that's completely broken up and then one that's partial. He's got a leg left and he still has his head left. So I wanted one of them to kind of stand up, you know, and fill the whole jar. And then I just hot glued two of these skull hands, skeleton hands from Michaels. And I think this string is what was holding these skulls in the packaging. So I just used that to tie my tag on. I inked the edge of the cork and I hot glued it in. I put hot glue around the cork and then pushed it in so it's on there for good. So that's the first jar. The second jar is my jar of eyeballs. And I did, with my brush, dry brush, I just brushed the silver lid because it was just too bright and shiny. I just wanted it to look old. And I also kind of brushed on the jar itself and hot glued some spiders and then also wrote eyeballs with my chalk. And these are just a couple of plastic, let's see, eyeballs from the Dollar Tree. And also inside, as you can see, it's kind of like a thick consistency stuff in there. It's just hand soap from the Dollar Tree, you know, the liquid type. I just bought like a large jar and used it in here so that it wasn't too liquidy like water, and it's pretty cool. And I did again put hot glue on the rim and then put it down and twisted it really fast so that it would grab, so in case this, you know, turns over, it's not gonna leak. So then my last one is my favorite, and it's kind of creepy looking. Yeah, I've always wanted to do one of these. So I watched a show on YouTube, or it was a partial show of someone, and I'll try and remember to link it, but I can't remember what the show was called, but she was showing how you can scan your face on the scanner, print it out, throw them in the jar with some hair. I didn't want to go scanning my face, so I just went online and looked for creepy faces, and I think this one I also found on Pinterest. And I put it in my Photoshop because I needed it to fit this particular jar, and I wanted it to go around as far as I could go. So I stretched him and, yeah, and sized it to what I thought would work, which I think this works perfectly fine. And then the hair, they used wig hair. I got hair from the Dollar Tree. Oh, there it goes. Hold on. Ugh. And I picked up two because I wasn't sure what color I was going to do, if my guy was going to be a girl or not. So the Dollar Tree, in the toys section, they have hair extensions that come on a headband. So I've got this color and then a more blonde. So I cut off a whole bunch, you know, this section here. Now they use Mod Podge, and I should have done that, but I was worried that because I don't have a laser printer that my ink was going to just bleed. So I just carefully hot glued the hair down, and I just kind of hot glued it to go around his face. I didn't care too much about the back because it's not going to show, but I did, you know, as soon as you throw it in there, you know, you kind of roll it up and you put it in there, and then you kind of use something long to kind of push the image against the glass. As soon as that's in there, it just turns out on its own looking really cool, like you just shove somebody's head inside there. And the look on his face, it's scary. It is. But yeah, and you don't have to use any liquid or anything. It just kind of works out on its own. And then again, this is actually, this jar is from the Dollar Tree. It's the same jar that I used for my floral arrangement with the witch. And I also used some paint on it. Now this one, you can still open it and take out this and do something else with it if you want. But what I did for my label on this is I tied on some more black chain, and I don't know where this came from, but I think this is the last of it. And then I put on this chipboard. I think it's K & Company. It said danger, and I took my black paint while it was out and kind of went over it some more because it was just too bright. And on the reverse side with my marker, I wrote "do not open." Put some more paint on there too, and just painted the edges and everything, because if you open, this guy is going to come out and get you. He's not very happy. So those are my projects. Again, I like making these types of things in threes for visual effect. Let's see if I can display it. And here is my coffin with the candlestick. I love the way this came out, and she looks so real. I did print her on a matte photo paper, and I did print some other things since I didn't want to waste my matte photo paper. So I printed out like a book. I found a book cover, which is spells, and then a book spine that says potions and spells. And I put them together. And what I did was I reversed this image to put on this side. And in my Photoshop, I got rid of this area. So now I have like a whole book. And then I found like little spells and some other things that, you know, might be in a witch's spell book. So I'm going to create a little book out of that. Maybe some extra pages. So I just wanted to use up my photo paper, because once I print out one thing, I don't use that for anything else. So I like to just, you know, print something that I think I might use again. I also printed out this. When I first printed my original one that I didn't end up using, I printed out this little thing here, Vampire Fang. So I want to make another bottle that I might sit with this. I don't know. We'll see, but it's already printed. So, okay, so that is it for now. I am going to be working on the display a little more. I want to lay something down that's a little more, you know, Halloween and spooky-ish. The next one that I want to work on is my skeleton, I believe. I want to turn him into either a bride or maybe a crafty person that died from crafting too much. I don't know. So, and then after that, I think I'll probably end up starting on my swap projects for Muriel. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.